What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk a little bit about fertilizer. Usually by now I'm done with fertilizing my fescue yards. It's the first week of April here, and usually by March 17th, as NC State says on their Turf Files website, you're supposed to be done putting your nitrogen on fescue grass. But this year has been cool, longer than usual, and I'm going to roll the dice a little bit and put this last application on a little later. I put a liquid fertilizer out when I did my RGS application the first week of March maybe, but I just don't have the confidence to stick with that liquid fertilizer as my last application to pull this fescue and feed it through the summer. So what I always put on my fescue is a 17-3-5 with 4% iron, and I'm going to show you the bag, and we're going to talk a little bit about the analysis in it and how to spread it and how to get your 1 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square foot on your application. So hang out and let's do this. All right, here's the analysis on this bag. The 17 is the nitrogen number. The 3 is potassium, and the 3 is phosphorus, and the 5 is potassium. Potassium. All right, this has, I don't know if you can, I'm trying to do this one-handed here, this 1.18% of ammoniacal nitrogen, and trying to read it through the phone, 5.82% of urea nitrogen. The urea nitrogen has to react with urease in the soil to make a chemical reaction, and it makes a gas that's gonna feed the plant the nitrogen. So it's sort of inefficient. So it's actually one of the cheapest ways to get your nitrogen to the grass, but it's also one of the most inefficient. The ammoniacal nitrogen is much more efficient, but it apparently it costs more. The phosphorus in it's got the 3% phosphorus and the 5% potassium from potash, muriate of potash. But this particular fertilizer is a hold on, I'm gonna do this different. All right, instead of talking to the bag of fertilizer, I'm gonna let you talk to me. I'm sure it's probably better to look at a bag of fertilizer, I don't know. But anyway, this particular product is processed by a method called XCU, and that just means the way that the nitrogen prills are coated, and they're sulfur wrapped and poly coated, which is just gonna give it a double layer to slow it from breaking down in the soil, to make your nitrogen more slow release and last longer and feed longer. So that's the advantage to that. This particular fertilizer is not very expensive. It's packaged here, it's blended and packaged here locally in Rocky Mount. So I can get it at a good price, and I buy quite a bit of it. So it's not extremely expensive to me, but it's been really effective. And I use some other blends from this same company here, Halifax Fertilizer is what it's called, or in Infield. And I get pretty good results, and it's not overly fancy. Like I said, you can buy stuff that's mixed with biosolids. I actually had the opportunity to get Milorganite to do this last round with, and I was really tempted, but still the price per 1,000 square feet, even at the deal I was getting, is pretty high, and I didn't go with it. I was going to buy a pallet of it, and my price would have shook out a little less than $9 a bag. But one bag of that stuff only covers about 2,500 square feet. So between having to spend the time to spread all the extra stuff and everything, I just wasn't interested. But it was tempting. I know a lot of people swear by that stuff and love it, but I haven't tried it yet, but maybe one day. So if this bag of fertilizer has 17% nitrogen in it, that means, well, the 17 number means that 17% of the bag is nitrogen. So if 17% of it is nitrogen, and we want to go with 1 pound per 1,000 square foot, this is a 17,000 square foot yard. But to arrive at how much many pounds of nitrogen are in the bag, you have to do a little bit of math, but it's easy math. I can even do it. So the 17 in a 50-pound bag, 17% of it would be half of 17. So 8.5 pounds of nitrogen in that bag of 17.35. So we've got this 17,000 square foot yard. So we want 1 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square foot. So it's pretty simple. We just need 2 bags. So the 17% of nitrogen in the 2 bags at 100 pounds, 17 pounds. We got 17,000 square feet. So 1 pound per 1,000 square feet. I didn't even have to write that down or anything. All right, I use this Lesco stainless steel spreader. These are pretty much the standard on what most commercial guys are going to use. They're expensive, and they're getting even more expensive. They've gone up a bit over the last few years, but this one has lasted a long time. But it'll hold 80 pounds of product. You can put a little more in it than that actually. But there's your fertilizer. The little white ones, that's that urea nitrogen. This one also has iron in it. The iron is a micronutrient that's going to help green up the soil, green up the grass. So I'm going to put this out, like I said, at a rate of 1 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. So that means I'm going to use 100 pounds on this 17,000 square foot yard of total product. You notice that the numbers don't add up to 100% on that bag. That means there's a lot of filler in there. Some of it is rocks, and some use sand. Some better fertilizers will use actually biosolids to mix in there with it, which I don't have any available to me, and the price is a little more on something like that, but that's definitely something nice to use. But I'm gonna get this spread out on this yard, and that's pretty much just a little run through on a little bit of fertilizer today. I appreciate you guys watching as always, and until next time, thanks. Okay, a little bonus footage here. This is that Mountain View Seeds Rhizominous Tall Fescue. I think they package it and sell it called Top Choice Fescue, but it's a blend of Rhizominous Tall Fescues. But you'll see over this beater color and the grass clippings and stuff where it's a sprinkler valve cover, but where we're getting some rhizomes starting to push over the meter cover, the valve box cover in that damn sun's in the way. I can't get a good angle on that shit. But anyway, in the little bit of clippings and stuff in here, there's some root growth spilling over onto this cover, which is pretty cool. Regular fescue won't do that. Check it out. So it is rhizominous. Nifty.